Well, you won't get a lemon from Toyota of Orange.
Wrestling buddies want to be your buddy.
Drug-free's the way to be.
What do you think you're doing?
Well, Miss Musso, we were just doing a promo.
Welcome to Home Wrestling League.
I am Penny Dreadful, joined by Drew No Gimmicks Needed Radley and Crystal the Casual at the Unicorn Soundboard for us. And this is Home Wrestling League, where it's draft week. Draft with quotes. Every time I say draft, it's going to be like that because it's not real. This is how bad these drafts are. I haven't paid attention to a lot of the drafts they've done before. So you're going to have to guide me through how bad they usually might be. But this is really weird. But we'll get into those in a minute. First up, releases. They were coming. Did Jinder Mahal axe be released? I kind of got that feeling that everyone else just got the axe, but he axed to go.
Yeah. I think that's what happened because he had that statement on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
The sad one was Cameron Grimes.
Yeah, what's that about? Was he on NXT?
Yeah, he was on NXT. So just one day before Vince McMahon ruined NXT, there was a gimmick. It's right when the GameStop thing happened, and his character was just this guy that would dress up in ill-fitting suits with just nothing but his taco meat out with the top hat, and be like, "Hey, I invested a bunch of money into GameStop, so now I'm rich."
Oh God, that's what that was. For me, I was like, "What are you talking about?" Oh Jesus Christ!
And so
that's horrible.
At one time, he was the best thing on NXT because this character was so great. He had a feud with LA Knight. That's kind of what made LA Knight.
Oh, okay.
And
that was the last big thing before he left.
Yeah, it was for Ted DiBiase's $1 million belt. And so
really,
so when he went over, all the momentum died, and he was a good hand. He was a frequent at PWG. Kevin Owens lost his last PWG match to him when he was Trevor Lee. He's a good wrestler. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
The other ones where you're all right. But he's the one where you're damn, that was sad. But he'll probably come back somehow because he's too good to not be there. And I guess
feel that way about Mustafa Ali. He'll be back.
Yeah. And I guess with Trevor Lee / Cameron Grimes, one of the last things he told his dad before he died was, "Hey, Dad, I got signed to WWE." And then that's part of the reason why he was really, really sad about getting fired.
Oh, my God. They learned to rue that day.
Right.
Yeah. Also missing now are Xia Li. Xia Li was the funniest thing. Well, not the funniest thing, because she got drafted to Raw, and I feel like they spent weeks giving us these fucking Oren Ishii vignettes of her. And then when she finally came out, it was this horrible rated ass thing. They really stuck their foot in it, only for us to never see her again. It was so fucking confusing. I wanted more from her. I feel bad for her, but she seems to be happy on her way out, I guess. Zion Quinn, I didn't know about, but he's really pretty. Super pretty. Crystal, look him up. So fucking pretty. He'll be fine. Beer was coming, and he cummed, and now he's gone.
That's not what I'm
I'm laughing at Chuck.
Tell the truth. They understand.
Come on, man. Stop it, man. Stop it.
Ernie, don't let us go there.
And Von Wagner is gone too. Who the hell is Von Wagner? See, most of these names I didn't know about. If you haven't seen him on TV for a while, you can usually see it coming.
Von Wagner was a giant back when Vince McMahon was starting to kill NXT 1.0.
Yeah, slowly, choking it out.
Yeah, it was. He did a number on it. He was one of those guys that was about to become something, and it just never clicked. And then last year they did an angle with Braun Breaker where he crushed Von Wagner's head, and they cut the camera feed before he actually made contact, but somebody in the audience took a
Oh dear.
video of it, and you could
Mhm.
see that Braun Breaker completely missed him. So yeah, I remember that. And then he had a thing with Robert Stone towards the end. It was just he's okay. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Okay.
yeah. Like, there's a lot of people that went to NXT that just didn't overall hit, and
Mhm.
not something that
Yeah.
isn't normal, but it happens. Like,
Yeah.
it's development for a reason.
And from AEW, Paige Van Zant is gone. I totally forgot she was ever there. Is she kind of
Yeah.
like is she good at what she does outside of wrestling? Because she sees, she's a fighter lady in general.
Yeah, I think she gets a lot of money from like OnlyFans. So like, I think she's
Fair
not
enough.
hurting for money.
Oh, she was on Dancing with the Stars. That's interesting.
Yeah,
No,
I looked her
she's
up.
from
Yeah,
Reno, Nevada.
she does a lot of things. She
She's from
is,
Reno, Nevada.
according to Wikipedia, she is an American mixed martial artist, a bare knuckle boxer, a professional wrestler, an author, a model, and OnlyFans content creator.
Gosh.
Yeah, and she's only 30, so she's going. She's doing it.
Okay.
If you don't have to take bumps and you make a shit ton of money per month, I'm just gonna go with the shit ton of money.
Yeah.
She's not from, well, they moved to Reno, but she was born in Oregon and lived there for a while. Actually, for most of her young life, she was in Portland. Then she went to a place called Sparks, Nevada.
Sparks is right next to Reno.
Yeah.
My aunt used to live there. Last time I was in the Reno area, I spent 2 weeks in Sparks. And I wanted to kill myself.
I was like, that's
like
the
guy from the menu who was from Sparks, Nevada, and he ended up shooting himself in the head.
Wait. Was the character supposed to be from
That's what he says. He was just like, hey, this is such and such from Sparks, Nevada.
Jeremy created the next dish. It's called The Mess. Originally from Sparks, Nevada, Jeremy studied at the Culinary Institute in Hyde Park. Jeremy's goal, as he wrote in a heartfelt letter, was to work for me here at Hawthorne. Isn't that right, Jeremy?
Yes, chef.
Oh, that makes a lot of
And
sense.
then he shoots himself in the head, and then that becomes the meal.
Yep.
Spoiler.
Oh, God. That was the first time I was like, oh, shit. This is crazy. Oh, my God.
Do you know how, like, sometimes on a person's Wikipedia, it's like there's a little too much information?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. She writes her own Wikipedia.
So
yeah,
apparently, this is what caught my eye because I was reading it. In August of 2017, I guess she was in the 125-pound flyweight division for UFC. And she pulled out in a fight she was scheduled to be in, citing a back injury and further ailments such as a herniated disc, a sinus infection, double ear infection, pink eye, and ringworm. I was like, what happened to you? What was going on in your life? Like, pink eye and ringworm? No, thank you. I have unfortunately had both, not at the same time.
My goodness.
Neither one is fun to deal with.
I feel like just one of those would have been enough to get you out of that match.
She's like, I have everything. Everything's wrong with me.
It's like, why would you admit that? Like,
right?
And it's in the Wikipedia. Like, it's listed there in the Wikipedia.
My God.
Like Penny earlier in the week said something to the effect of, there's no way you could have gotten that at, like, you could have tortured me and you never would have got that information out of me. It was the Christy Alley thing that you sent, or that I sent to the group.
Yep.
I got this phone call. My sister called me, and I was in Los Angeles, and said, Mom and Dad have been in a car wreck, and Mother is dead, and Dad is dying. And I, of course, was falling apart. But all I knew was I had to get there. And I got there, and my sister and I, we were all sitting in this waiting room, and we were sobbing. And as I'm crying, I said, my sister's here, and I wasn't looking at her, but I said, where were they going? And she said, to a Halloween party. And I said, what were they dressed as? Why would you ask this? Why would you? And she said, the Odd Couple. And I said, oh. And I'm thinking, what Odd Couple? Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon? Well, what were their costumes exactly? She said, Mom was a black girl and Dad was a Ku Klux Klan member. We started laughing.
She had a lot of medical like issues, like injuries and stuff, obviously. But the big ones,
Christy Alley?
No, Paige Van Zandt.
Okay, like
She had a lot of issues with a broken right arm, fractured it.
Oh,
and
God.
all that
Ooh,
stuff.
like, shit.
She had a lot of stuff going on. Yeah.
Like, hey, am I gonna take a bunch of risque pictures and only get a bunch of money because people think they can almost see me naked, or am I gonna take bumps for the rest of my life?
I mean, obviously, the second one. No,
Yeah.
the first one. But I mean, that is
shit.
funny though.
Oh,
Rachel Dolezal has an OnlyFans, so like we
Well,
can't.
there's just like a lot of foot content. Yeah, it's a lot of foot content.
Oh, God.
What is it? Gypsy Rose is about to have one. I guarantee.
No,
she has
I don't
that
think she
nose.
is. I don't think
that's why
is.
she got rhinoplasty. That is, I guarantee that's the road to.
Oh, wait, is that the girl who killed her mom?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I can't tell anyone.
You can tell me.
Nobody's gonna ever do more for you than I do.
She's never gonna let us be together.
Sooner or later, everybody knows everything about everyone.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard, how do you plead?
NXT, we're talking NXT. That Tatum Roxanne Lyra match was better produced than most matches were on Dynasty, than both women's matches on Dynasty. Because Roxanne was furious, and she's been in her, the heel thing and the kind of being like super protective of like the title and all that. But I could definitely apply that to that one, and it was so well produced. That like the leg sweep that Roxanne did, and then DDT on there at the same time, beautiful.
I've always loved three-way matches where the story is these two people fucking hate each other, and then the person who has the belt is just like, yeah, I don't know what y'all got going on, but I'm gonna win this fucking match. So like, yeah, like.
My goodness, you could apply that to any triple threat match between women. Wow.
Right. There's always like a personal beef between two-thirds of the group, and it could or could not be laced with a little bit of sexual tension.
Interesting. Oof. All right, we're seeing more of the main roster people appearing on NXT. They should do that pretty regularly, I think. That does make me want to watch. So Shayna and Natty are putting over ladies in NXT. Shayna's teaming with Lola, and as a child of the 90s, I can't hear Lola without thinking Lola Bunny. Lola Bunny! I can't do it. She's Lola Bice. I call her Lola. I'm gonna call her Lola Bunny. I can't.
And if you just Google Lola by itself, it's Lola Vice. Then I think Lola a shoe Bunny. Store. Jason Momoa's daughter, who's another actress, and then Lola Bunny.
How old is she?
I don't know. It's Lola Yolani Momoa.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. 16. So she's a baby.
Oh, okay. Tiny baby. Okay. Yeah. And Natty is with Carmen Petrovic, I guess. That's cute. I always want to see them appearing. And respect for Shayna, who is terrifying when she's a heel and endearing as hell when she's a face. I'll never get over that lack of story with her and Ronda. I was waiting like this for her or for one of them to turn on the other and to get like that great, shoot work story. And we got nothing. We got like a video package of them just being interviewed, maybe 5 minutes, and then a match that went maybe 8 minutes, maybe that ended in a submission, and it was over.
I know Ronda is coming out against WWE, and like had she
on the vendetta,
had she come back like a year later, none of this is an issue. Like coming back when she came back, like that was a horrendous time to do it because that was the peak of Vince McMahon's powers. WrestleMania 23, like he was still around, even though he had left, but he was still around. So, like, had she come back now, it would have been much, much better for her.
Yeah. And yet, I don't know. Like, she clearly can't keep up to the type of schedule that they keep. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure exactly. And I'm not sure if she can tell a story in the ring. Like, everything that she was not good at in pro wrestling, her going somewhere else is not necessarily going to change that. I hope she's happy at Ring of Honor right now, and that's, you know, a different environment and everything. But I don't know if you can solve what she's not good at over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. No, she would just have to work on the indies, like, you know.
Yeah. Oh, putting a lot of work in the indies. Yeah.
Start anew and then just, you know, go from there.
I think she really wants to.
No.
Yeah, I don't get the feeling that she wants to.
No, like, just her ascent was just so crazy because it's such a product of the early 2010s. Like, if you really like MMA, you would watch Cage Match or WEC, and she was like the focal point of that. And like Strike Force? Yeah, did Strike Force as well.
Strike Force. That sounds like a Marvel team.
Yeah,
it probably is.
But it's funny because like her success just came so fast, and like within, because like it started from like 2010 to about 2015 when she lost that first match. It just all went downhill from there because like she's the reason why there's women's MMA in UFC, because Dana White was just like,
when are we gonna see women in the UFC, man?
Never.
Never?
Never. Thank you, guys.
And then Dana White, because silver hair, middle-aged white man, saw how much money he could bring in, and he was just like, "We are so glad that we signed Ronda Rousey to UFC. I was always for it, and I'm so goddamn glad that this happened."
You for the check, boy.
Exactly, and putting hands on his wife. Yeah, like just all of her success and everything, you know, just it was so early in the 2010s, and now it's kind of faded. Like, I would know whenever she was in her fighting camp because it's the Glendale Fighting Club. I live literally 2 blocks away from it, and so like there would be some times where I'd be on the street driving, and then you could see like production trucks outside because like it was a big deal because that was where she trained.
Oh my goodness.
Let her live her life. She'll be all right.
Yeah, she'll be all right.
Best decision I ever made. And now look at what Ronda started, and you know, I've learned a lot since 2011 when I said, no, women will never fight in the UFC.
Trick is NXT champion now. You got black champs everywhere. Where's my cold dead heart? Who are we missing? Trick, Swerve, Obafemi, Moose, and of course Cody Luther King. Am I missing anybody?
Yeah, no, I think that's all our black wrestlers.
Yeah. Did you catch that whole match?
Because that's the trilogy. That's the end of the trilogy. Because Ilya Dragunov made Trick Williams. Like Trick obviously was good at the mic and all that, and he was great with Mello, but Ilya Dragunov made him. That Heat Wave match last year was the beginning of what we're seeing today. And Trick's going to be in NXT for like the next year. He'll learn how to work and just be better.
Yeah.
And it's only going to help
and carry a title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's next up. Like, he has the charisma.
Oh, 100%.
If you have charisma and you're malleable to work with, you don't hurt people, you can go very far.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
like
it's out.
John Cena used to get shit a lot of time for not being a good wrestler, but you know, he was safe. And he's safe. And then he ultimately turned it around and became one of the better wrestlers in that company's history.
Yeah.
So I believe in Trick.
I love that ending. He's like, give him a hug and a kiss. Super gay.
Oh God. Yeah. No, it's very.
I love emotion at the end of the match. Love it.
It's very.
You know, he's passing it on. You know.
Yeah. It's funny because mid-match, like they're hitting the shit out of each other, and then they just start dapping up, like, yeah, that's some good shit. Everybody's going nuts in the it's like they just mid-match just giving each other dap for fucking each other up. The Vengeance Day match ends because they're hitting their finishers at the same time, which is hilarious because early in the week, Bryan Danielson and
Osprey
and Osprey did it.
Really played that.
But they did that back in February. So people now are just like, well, they copied Osprey and Danielson. And it's like, no, they initially did that. So how it ends in February is they're about to hit their finishers because they're both running into each other's finishers. In February, Ilya hit it first. And that's how the match ends. And then in the match the other day, Trick hit his first. So it's good storytelling. I'm gonna miss Ilya Dragunov because he's obviously gonna get drafted tomorrow.
Do you think he gets put? Do you think he replaces Giovanni in Imperium? I think that's a pretty obvious good move for him.
I don't want him to because I think the best match of like in years on WWE TV was Gunter, or when he was Walter and Ilya Dragunov. Like those motherfuckers just beat the shit out of each other.
Oh, okay.
I just remember watching. I'm like, this is the most violent match I've ever seen, and no one's bleeding ever. like they are just like hitting each other so hard, going at each other, and that was like Gunter / Walter made Ilya Dragunov, and then it's cool to see like when somebody makes somebody like Gunter made Ilya Dragunov made Trick.
Yeah.
So like you're seeing how it
works when it works well. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
Terrible.
Come get this crap. Come on.
Can you get this out of here, please?
Me, sorry about that.
Why am I helping this?
I don't know.
No worries, I have it.
Thank you. Thank you. And can you bring me your most expensive bottle of champagne and your finest chicken fingers?
Sure. And hold the ketchup. He doesn't like spice.
I do not.
Ranch? We want ranch.
Beautiful,
yes.
Perfect.
Cheers.
And yeah, that's it.
I don't know exactly where I wanted to mention this, and I guess it's a good spot to like mention injuries. Bit of a trouble for the Judgment Day because Dom is also on the injury reserve, busted his elbow, is not going to have surgery apparently, but they're going to keep him on TV, which I guess is a choice. But Darby got hit by a bus.
Love it. Yeah. Anytime Dom is on my TV, we'll get to Darby, but anytime Dominic is on my TV, I'm just like, this is incredible. I love this kid.
It's true. Much. You have to keep that heat going.
Because the whole thing with Rhea Ripley, and it's always weird. I've always thought this with Rhea Ripley, like when people perv out on Rhea Ripley, it's more accepted. Like you can't do that to like let's see. You couldn't do that to Natty, where you could be like, oh God, I want Natty to step on my face, like shit like that. And people would be like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you? But with Rhea Ripley, it's just like people just do that shit online.
Rhea's been playing it on purpose. Mommy's always on top. Come on.
So I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, yeah, this Rhea thing's cool. Where the fuck is Dominic though? Like I've just hit that point where I'm like, where is he?
Yeah.
He is always entertaining to me.
Yeah.
Dominic Hive over here.
Dominic Hive. Dom Hive. And with Darby, God is like, look, I don't care how many things I gotta throw at you to keep you off that mountain. I'm gonna do it.
Do you want to die on this mountain?
Do you want to die?
It's like, because I'm gonna stop this. It's like
oh my
God. This man was just like, well, you know, I'm gonna lose this match, so I'm gonna go away for a little bit, and then just does an innocuous dive off the top rope and then breaks his foot.
Oh God.
And then gets hit by a bus.
Yeah. He's gonna get the bag too, because you don't get hit by a city bus and not get the bag.
Of the 4 pillars, because we're definitely gonna talk about one of the other 4 pillars. Like he is infinitely the most entertaining in real life, where you're just like,
yes.
What's gonna happen with him next?
Like, Darby, why do you hate yourself so badly? Oh, bless him. Hope he stays away for a good long time. To heal and come back and bust his ass again.
We were making love, and then the best dream became the worst nightmare.
What was that?
That didn't sound natural.
The reason I freaked out so badly when I saw that it was actually a beehive is that I am deathly allergic to bees.
The beehive?
All hell breaks loose. I just popped up naked, and I was taken off.
I'm like, I just gotta get to the car.
I just started running like naked. 1 minute I'm having sex with this girl, that was like my ultimate fantasy. And the next thing I know, I'm running naked, the swarm of bees attacking me.
Moving on, Battle Royale for the women's chip. I want them to get off Maxine's ass already. And NXT would be the perfect spot for her, I think. But it's not going to happen because with Chad's heel turn, he talked them all down. And she's probably going to stay there. But that would be a good spot for her to really develop. But still, they're working on it. And they're having her, what did she do? She eliminated both Candice and Indy. So good for her. I think she's getting better. And I think they're putting the focus on developing her and using all of the criticism to make it, you know, a little better for her. And she's one in that group who, and if we talk about Taker real quickly, with starting, mid-card title for the women's division, she would be one of those. She's in that group of people who are working hard and they're not quite at the championship level, but they should have something to fight over, I think. Becky's champ again. Inevitably, you've got the same 5 women, exchanging the belt, which I'm not mad about.
So my theory is this. There's only 5 women on the current roster that have the ability to make other women. Or no, not on the current roster. It's the 4 horsewomen and Asuka are the only ones that can make anybody.
Yes.
And so the inherent issue is if you don't give them one of the 4 belts, you have no it's hard to make somebody.
Yeah.
Like Natty can make somebody to a point, but like if you beat one of the 3 horsemen and Asuka, it's a big deal.
Yes.
The horsewomen. There's 2 things I love from that match is Nia Jax, who's the MVP of that match, and we'll get into it.
Yes.
Oh yes, that's exactly why. And
when Nia's been doing so great since she came back, I'm happy for her.
Her and Liv Morgan have that thing out in the backstage area while the interviewer's trying to have an interview.
Yes.
And then Becky just like slides in and was like, what the hell is this going on? It's like, well, hey, let me take that mic and I want to talk. And then Becky's just talking about how big the match is, and then she sees Maxine Dupree. And then she's just like, hold on.
Ahead of this, Becky.
You got a lot to report on, and you were doing a bang-up job, but the man wears many hats. Mind if she tries out one more?
Please.
Let me take this. All right, it is chaos back here. It is pure chaos, and it's about to get a whole lot more chaotic out there because we are about to have the biggest, most important battle royal in the history of Raw. This is your first time fighting for a world championship, right? You go out there, you show everybody why it won't be your last. Okay?
And then at that moment, she goes outside, and you're like, "Oh my god!" That's the whole thing I came to. I'm like, those 3 women and Asuka are the only ones that are on that roster that can make people.
Yes.
Like Bianca's not in that level yet, and Rhea. We saw what Rhea did with her fucking title reign, which is one of my all-time favorite. Like, I'm not losing at all, and I'm not putting anyone over title reigns ever.
Yes. It's so funny. And she got that from Charlotte, who was always accused of not being able to put people over. And that wasn't clearly she can't, because she did.
Yes. Well, Charlotte put over Rhea Ripley and Becky. Like those are the 2 people she put over.
Yeah. Those shots are everything. I feel like we've seen a lot of backstage stuff over the years, of course, but there's something a little bit different about the way they've been doing it now.
She looked like a star. That's why I was saying, like, she looked like when she came out and she did that, and then you see William Regal sitting in the chair right there.
We've seen more Gorilla now than we've ever had before, I feel like.
is just like, oh, I'm glad that the creator of the Blackpool Combat Club is hanging out in WWE right now.
Right?
And she comes out and just like, take a good picture for the promo.
Camera ready. We're gonna need an updated picture.
And you're like, damn, she's a fucking
Right?
star.
Yes.
Like, I finished her book and we talked about it a little bit, but like, she is a star.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see it. Then now we get to the MVP of the match, Nia. And Nia, when they put the bells up and right next to the referee, she does the pose. And I was just like, oh God. Like, I disagree with your.
I wonder if she planned that.
Oh no, she absolutely did. Like, I disagree with Nia Jax's opinions on everything.
Yes.
But God damn it, she is so attractive and so funny.
She's beautiful.
Oh man, you are a terrible person, but God damn it.
You're gorgeous and you're getting much better at this, like way better. I actually liked previous Nia Jax. I liked her as Raw Women's Champion that time, but I could recognize the holes in her game, as it were.
Yeah.
There are fewer
Lost a lot of
and they're
weight.
smaller. Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Yeah. Then the part where she takes Becky Lynch outside after she gets eliminated.
Yeah.
Or no, she didn't get eliminated. Piper Nevin gets eliminated. And
Piper Nevin High, by the way. Love me some Piper.
Oh yeah, no, she's great. She, like, if you watch her stuff on the independents, you're just like, oh, she is fucking awesome. And then Vince McMahon was just like, oh, fat woman, dewdrop.
Right.
And then
you like to dance backstage. Let's make it cute.
She gets eliminated, beats up Becky, tries to put her through the table. It doesn't break. Then tries to put her through the table again. It doesn't break. And then she gets put through the table on commercial break, and we don't even see it.
Yes. You guys need to prep these tables for them a little better, guys. Come on.
I mean, sometimes that's the problem with women going through the tables, is like they don't have the bone structure to fully do it.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it'll come off goofy. Like,
or I think it feels worse. Like when usually an announce table, like when they hit the announce table and it doesn't go through and it doesn't break, I'm like, that must have hurt even more. Because at least if it breaks, you have, some fall through. You have something to work with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just
like one of the points in Becky's book was when she faced Alexa Bliss for the first time, and it was like a tables match. Like,
oh yeah,
Becky was just like,
story with Bray.
Yeah, she's not big enough to go through the table properly.
Yeah.
So like everyone knows I'm gonna lose this match.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, if it was like fucking ECW tables where it's just like, we're not making prop tables, you're using actual tables. Yeah. And if you have a problem with that, shut the fuck up. Like, but yeah, that was my favorite part of the match.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, obviously Becky wins the match, but the funniest part is the last part of the match is them going over the top. And if you rewatch that match, you clearly see that Liv pulled Becky underneath the second rope. So no matter how that match would have went, Becky would have still won because she did not go over the top rope.
Yeah.
And like, that was not on purpose, obviously.
Yeah.
But like it would have been interesting if they would have given it to Liv, and then that would have been a storyline. But I personally think what's going to happen is,
she got a ready-made heel in Liv.
Yeah, she's keeping the belt warm for Liv for like Backlash or Queen of the Ring.
Yeah, how long do you think it will be?
Because
do they still have time?
No, they're not going to do Becky going to lose it. But like,
well, no. But like,
Backlash next week.
Will there be a Backlash? It's so interesting. It's a little funky. We finally get the heel turn from Carlito. I thought it was so funny how they went with the backstage footage. Do you think that was on purpose? Because I was like, why backstage footage?
So you remember that bit in Austin Powers where the security guard is trying to stop Austin Powers and it's cutting back and forth like really intensely, and then they show how far the vehicle is and how slow it was going.
Yes.
That's how I felt when that happened. I'm like, oh my god, no way! Like, literally, like this always happens to Rey Mysterio. Always happens to him. His son turned on him. Like,
who's the problem here, Ray? Ray, who is the common denominator here?
Your son saw a goth girl with a nice ass and was just like, I'm gonna completely abandon. I was gonna completely abandon my family for her.
House, home, and family.
Exactly. And then you had him and Santos, where Santos is just like, I'm just tired of you. And then now you just have Carlito. And mind you, this is all within 2 years. You've been turned on like 3 times in 2 years. Like, there are more turns on you than years in this whole situation. 18 months. Like, honestly, that's how long it's been.
It's true.
It's literally been 18 months.
Yeah.
Like, Draymond Green knocked out Jordan Poole 18 months ago.
That was
and it feels like forever ago.
Yes. Only to act stupider every week since then.
Jordan, I'm just like Mike, ain't I? I'm just like Mike, huh? Why'd you hit him like that? I'm just like Mike. I mean, I barely hit him. Shit, this shit hurt. God damn.
Why hit him like that, man? Come on.
Nah, Coach, come on. Michael Jordan hit you, and what happened next?
That's Michael Jordan.
Y'all won a championship, and I'm Draymond Green. Every year, Coach, it's all on me. God damn, that shit hurt.
Backlash card. We got Jay and Luisito. Obviously, that the title's not going anywhere. Do you think it could?
No.
Nah, not this soon.
No,
not necessarily.
Like,
yeah,
that belt is being seat warmed for that big ass Scottish dude and that surly tattooed guy from Chicago. Like, anything else does not work.
Yeah, you got to wait for him to get his contract. Wait for him to be healed. In the meantime, we have to do something, and it's gonna be y'all.
Did you see the video on Twitter where The Rock presented him with the sword and saying like, "Hey, he signed back for." A little bit, and then the Rock is just like, yeah, I'm not coming back to this. I'll do these occasional videos.
Yeah, just to remind you guys that maybe I'll come back at some point.
I'm sorry, I just want to open up $100 million movies. I'm sorry, I don't want to wrestle with you guys.
I'll just be there to sign checks if you need me to sign checks. Oh God. And Bailey, Naomi, Tiffy for the title. That'll be fun. Is this Tiffy's first title match outside of NXT? Yeah.
No, the first match was the Elimination Chamber in Australia.
No, her first title match.
Well, that was
qualifying.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, this is her first title match. But yeah, it's either going to be she's definitely winning Money in the Bank.
Oh yeah, of course. She's not winning this match, but it'll be a good outing for her. No question. I wonder what kind of pop she gets. Pink briefcase.
It's gonna be a pink briefcase.
Of course, yes.
Like that's what's gonna happen.
Yes. It's gonna be so cute. I'm gonna love it. I wonder who she'll. Anyway, I'm excited to see that because the reception for her in Australia was so huge. It's always fun to see the type of reception that people get when they go anywhere. And that's how you know they're over for sure. Seth, LA Knight, Tiffy, when it's working globally. That's always fun to see. A tag match, 2 tag matches actually. Solo and Tama Tonga. I had a note here saying, what the fuck is MFT supposed to mean? Now I know it's motherfucking Tonga. Okay, whatever. And Randy and KO. That'll be fun. How do you think that's gonna go? Bloodline, yeah. They gotta put over Tama Tonga.
I mean, like,
you think it's gonna come out in loafers again? What does this gear look like? Because so far I've just seen him looking like The Rock and loafers and slacks.
It's just long black shorts. Like,
yeah. Okay.
When he had his flowing luscious hair, like he would have war paint and he's the part of the and all that shit. So
he has like a whole look before where it's like
I was confusing him with a Toa Leona, naturally. So, oh
No.
yeah, I
Well,
see. There it is.
So there's like an
Mhm.
outfit that's like red and black, and he's got like face paint on. Is that
Mhm.
him
Yeah.
or is that somebody else? That's him.
No,
Okay.
that's Tamatanga. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He had long, he got his hair cut, and then,
Mhm.
I think he's lost most of his powers, but, it's good to see.
Just like Samson.
And also up, and I just put LOL because it's Jade and Bianca versus the Kabuki Warriors. I just hope it's longer than 5 minutes.
Okay.
We haven't seen much in-ring work from Jade, and I know she can do better than what we've seen her do so far. So I can only hope that it'll be longer than 5 minutes. You made it sound that makes it seem like it's not going to be.
Like, once Jade gets that hot tag, that match is done.
Yeah.
You might as well, you might as well go out to the fucking parking lot and try to get out early.
I wouldn't be surprised if it opens the show. Like, get it over with. Let's move it.
Well, I mean, French people are enamored with black people, so like oh my god, Jay Cargill. Oh god, she's a goddess.
No, they are weird about it. There was that one video. What's her name? Julie Delpy.
Oh god,
being really weird, and you're just like,
yes. I sometimes I wish I were black because you get more opportunities when you're black. And who was it that was looking at her in that? It was Danny DeVito and someone else.
They both looked like they were just like,
whoa.
They wanted to disappear within themselves.
It was Karen Colgan.
Can't talk. Like, actually, like, I sometimes wish I was African American, because I think at least people don't bash them afterwards when they say something,
But that match is obviously a foregone conclusion. And that brings us to the next foregone conclusion, which is Ospreay and Roddy at Double or Nothing. That's an LOL too. How do you put Ospreay, this super over guy, one of the probably hands down the best wrestler in the world right now, and not give him the title? Hilarious. So funny.
Yeah, no, I thought
like, poor
he was
Roddy.
just because I thought they were going to make him an AEW champ, and I'm like,
me too. So I guess this means that he won't be going for that title, or the AEW title at least, in Wembley.
Yeah, unless they do the storyline because he can't use the Tiger Driver 91 anymore, where he's about to beat Roddy, doesn't do the move, then Roddy pins him, and then
that would be weird.
And then he's gonna wait until Wembley and break it out on that black ass swerve. I beat your ass, you black lad, with this move that I was gonna do anymore.
What was that whole deal with Ospreay and Danielson after that? It was so funny in the comments of that posting on Instagram. And boy, Instagram comments are an interesting place because some smart people, a lot of dumb people. There was one guy who was like, this is kayfabe. And people be like, maybe he's really hurt, because they did the same thing after Brian's match with Eddie, having them back, covered in ice and everything. So what is the point of them with this thing? Because what a lot of people are saying, and what I guess kind of makes sense, is, building up Ospreay as the face so that eventually he comes away from Don Callis and them by him not wanting to use his super, super dangerous move. He didn't want him. He wants him to be healthy.
And then he's trying to tell that to Don Callis, and then Kyle Fletcher's there.
Fletcher.
Right? It's like the man's dating Sky Blue. Like his life's good right now. When Ospreay says, "Yeah, I don't want to use the move," and it's like, Fletcher's just like, he won the match, and Don Callis is just like, I don't think you should be talking about winning because he just lost to Swerve, who hilariously, I just like the fact that Swerve wins the championship. All right, opening. All right, nothing else. And then you save. Well, we're talking about what the main event was. But it's just like, hey, John Moxley, why don't you have the last match for a championship belt that we're not even a part of? Like, what the fuck? And then they were like, "Hey, we actually had plans for Swerve on Saturday." It's like, the fuck you did. You're just doing that because you got backlash for it.
Yeah.
Because like every championship, it's a big deal, and then they treated Swerve's thing like it wasn't a big deal. So now they have to backpedal.
Yep. Make it a little bigger than it was because you spent so much time in the other matches previously.
Like they put Samoa Joe in an ill-fitting suit on purpose when he won the championship. It was just like, well, this is my reign now because like Chris Jericho is the reason why heels wear suits. And then just for a long time after that, after he stopped being Y2J, where he would wear suits and just talk really slowly, that became like the antithesis. Like anytime there was a heel champion in the WWE, it would just be like, well, I'm wearing a suit now.
That brings us to Jericho. A lot of us are simply just tired of seeing him, and there's of course a lot of talk about how he's not putting over the younger talent and everything. I just think it's stale. And when it seems like when Jericho is working something that gets stale, instead of going away and coming back, he immediately just moves to the next thing and expects it to go over. Like Les Sex Gods. That was like 3 weeks.
That was a while because they would do the pose and shit. But here's the thing that people don't want to hear. And I know the whole thing with Kylie Ray happened and him and the NDAs and shit. That gimmick's about to get really over.
The learning tree thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
It's gonna be big. Because they're like when you have chants like that where it's like, please retire, Fozzy sucks. Like you're obviously like he's smart enough to be like, okay, how can I do this? So what I picked up on is his character is essentially making fun of CM Punk. Like the whole reason why this all went down was Adam Page said the shit about him not having to learn from older people. And CM Punk was just there to be like, hey, I'm the person you need to learn from. And so the joke is that because CM Punk really only lost twice.
Yeah.
The entire he was there like, I'm here to put over younger talent, put nobody over and left. Like him, Rhea Ripley, and Hulk Hogan have some of the best like title reigns ever because it's just like, I'm here to put no one over except for myself and lose at no time. But yeah, that gimmick I guarantee is making fun of CM Punk because he thought he was going to be the guy who's like, I'm trying to teach you to be better. I want you to be better. I'm going to beat you, but I just want you to be better. So I think that's where he's going with this.
Very interesting. Man, CM Punk really is living rent-free in them people's heads.
Listen, as a mentally ill person myself, I feel it is my duty to give advice to those that are going through tough times themselves. Listen, if you're thinking about killing yourself, do drugs. And if you're already doing drugs and you still feel like you want to kill yourself, turn to Jesus. I'm kidding, that's ridiculous. No, call up your doctor, have them zap a Prozac up your ass, and see if you feel better.
That brings us to the main event then, and you're going to explain how you knew that Jack was going to hit Tony like 2 minutes before it aired.
Because
how did you know exactly how that was going to go down?
Because I was just like, oh, he's going to do a thing with Tony Khan. And then I'm like, there's too much time left.
Right, exactly.
Shit. There was,
like, some shit's going to go down when they're still 6-7 minutes away from the end of the show.
There was a movie that came out a couple years ago called Promising Young Woman.
Yes.
Oh,
is it good? I haven't seen it. I have a copy of the script somewhere, actually.
It is good.
Yeah.
The ending's a little, I would have done something different, but it is a good, interesting movie because it's really weird and like fucked up.
What reminds you of it then, Drew? What brings it to mind?
Yeah, so the reason I said that was because when we were watching it, there was a part where I'm like, wow, this is really fucking happy. And I'm like, wait, how much time is left? I fucking look at I pause it and I see there's like 30 minutes left.
Oh, I see.
And so like when the twist happened, I was just like, oh yeah, it's because there was so much time.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how I clocked what was happening with Tony Khan. I was like, there's too much time left for them to be like, to
Gonna
hug
be
it
some
out.
shit. Yeah.
It has to be some shit.
Mhm.
And so Tony Khan, God bless him, gets punched in the ribs. And because he is not a professional wrestler at heart,
at all,
he immediately covers his face. And then he realized that, oh, I got punched in the stomach. So let me go sell my stomach.
How many times do you guys practice that? Come on.
When they were going to do the VTE trigger on him, I was just like, that actually might hurt him. So when they did the Tony Khan driver, which is now hilarious.
The Tony Khan driver. Goodbye, Meltzer driver.
Exactly. It was like, no, we don't need 5 stars anymore. We're already rich. But and then all those people come in and see how he's going. And then they cuts to his father, and his father looks like an old school, like 70s heel wrestler.
Yes.
I'm just like, this is hilarious because he has that gaudy ass billionaire outfit where I was just like, oh, this person has money. Like immediately when they showed him, which makes it even funnier because the next night was the NFL draft. And so I was at a draft party on my Twitter Spaces, and I was asking, like, when do the Jacksonville Jaguars pick? Because Tony Khan is one of the executives for the Jacksonville Jaguars. His father owns them. He owns
it's Shahid Khan.
Shahid Khan. I noticed something very quickly. Like when they made the pick, they didn't show the war rooms because they show the war rooms in all the because it's a big deal. Like, oh shit, we just made this pick. And I was just like, they didn't show the war room. And I'm like, oh, it's because ESPN signed a deal with WWE. So that's the reason they didn't show the war room on ESPN because Tony Khan is there. So a couple seconds later, I looked up on Twitter, and then they had him in the fucking neck brace on NFL Network. This is great.
Yes.
Like, this is great.
First time I saw it, it was definitely photoshopped, and actually, whomever had made it is kind of one of those junk accounts. The PS icon was still in the corner, so I was like, I will wait a little bit longer to see if he was in fact wearing a neck brace. And then maybe 5 minutes later, saw it, and I was like, kayfabe is alive. Beautiful. How hard do you think Phil is laughing? Phil must be cracking up.
Like, to be honest, Phil's so surly and angry that he doesn't care, but he absolutely cares. And he's just a really angry, unhappy man from Chicago with a bunch of tattoos and, doesn't drink.
That's his thing.
So the next day, because everybody was asking, because it's amazing advertising.
Yes.
Like it goes viral on Twitter, and everybody's like, why is the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Because if they don't already know what other job he has, now they do.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing advertising. And then he goes on that network and then does the promo, and then he basically compares WWE to Harvey Weinstein. And it's just like, bitch, what are you
I'm burying as hard as I can turn?
And it's like, you could have said anybody else. You could have been like, yeah, they're the evil corporation, we're the good corporation. Boom. Done. Like, everyone gets a point.
The thing you just talked about is on the Wikipedia for Tony Khan already.
Of course.
I bet it is.
It's let's see. How does it say it?
The same people who did Paige Van Zant's Wikipedia probably did.
Yeah, it says on the April 24th episode of Dynamite, Khan was involved in storyline. He was attacked by the Elite, the effects of which he continued to sell at the NFL draft a day later.
Little baby Tony taking bumps at Daly's place. Good for him.
It's so funny because there's another thing on his Wikipedia article that talks about the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? Like it says in April 2020, then Jaguars defensive end Yannick, I don't know how to say the last name.
Something French?
No, I think it's
African, probably.
It's Ngakwe.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Ngakwe, I think. He referred to Khan as spoiled, and after a confrontation on Twitter in August 2020, Ngakwe was traded to the Minnesota Vikings.
You goddamn right. Like,
I'm sorry.
If you're not gonna let Colin Kaepernick play because he was like fighting for black people not to get killed by cops, I'm pretty sure like some shit like that is not gonna slide.
Yeah. No, it's just funny that it's just there. Like
anything that would be related to anytime Tony sneezes is going to be in the news now. But what do you think about it? Because people seem to be on it's pretty polarizing. Some people like, this is dumb, this is stupid, I don't like it, yada yada. And people are like, this is hilarious, this is great, I love it. I'm on that side. I'm cracking up the whole time. But do they want me to crack up? Like, do they want me to take this seriously? I don't know exactly what they want me to do, but I'm laughing.
But they dress up in fucking waistcoats and beat up people.
Yeah.
So like, you can't really just be like, man, this is a really serious thing.
Look like bad guys in a fucking Sherlock Holmes movie.
Like,
of course, it happened.
Well, I mean, whatever he's doing has won him the Wrestling Observer newsletter Promoter of the Year 3 years straight, and Best Booker for 2 years straight. So that makes sense.
Him and Meltzer are buddies. Like, he makes matches for that guy who gives him that award.
So, that's hilarious.
Yep,
I love it.
Yeah. So like, he can't really be shocked. Like, I love AEW. I think it's fantastic. But like, that's it is what it is.
Yeah.
Tony Khan came at the perfect time, because I was even questioning my WWE fandom when I went to the Staples Center, and yes, it's still the Staples Center. I don't give a fuck what you're gonna call it now.
Amen.
And I watched the fucking Kofi Kingston getting beat by Brock Lesnar in 20 seconds, and was just like, why the fuck do I like this?
Oh God, you saw that in person?
Yeah, that was the last show I went to before COVID.
Oh boy, yikes!
And then like all the COVID shit happens, and then I was just like, man, I'm really like, I don't really give a fuck about any of this. And it just took me such a long time as a fan. I was almost a lapsed fan. Like, I watched like pandemic stuff. Like, I think
out of curiosity to see what they were doing,
like, I think one of the best moments in the history of WWE is Becky Lynch announcing that she was pregnant.
Yes.
Because it's the most genuine moment in the history of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Where this person is telling one of her friends that, hey, you could be the champion, I'll be a mother. And her friend is reacting like, oh my God, you're fucking pregnant?
Yeah. And Asuka was supposed to be a heel at the time, right? That's what people say about it. And she's like, genuinely like, yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of the most sincere moments that you'll ever see in professional wrestling.
You are the champion now, and as happy as you are to be the champion, I might be a little bit happier. So you go and be a warrior, because I'm going to go be a mother.
Like, Tony came in the perfect time where people needed that.
Yeah.
And then, he was able to get
an alternative, something new.
He was able to get CM Punk for one of the hilarious 2-year runs in the history of professional wrestling, and it brought more people to the product.
Yes.
And like, I know Mercedes is clearly hurt, and they try to recreate the same thing, but like, she doesn't. She moves the needle for the women because like she'll put on great matches, but she doesn't. She isn't ratings like that.
Yeah. Well, maybe if she'd be able to get in the ring, possibly.
She's not cleared.
And and I don't know if I would have done it. But
I don't even know why they did that. Because like,
why? Because
she shows up.
She's
like,
best in the ring. Like, no one's gonna give her, a whole lot of accolades for her mic work, and that's okay. That's just fine. But it's not her strength.
Like with 90s TV shows where a character that everybody loves, or 90s sitcoms where everyone loves, walks in, and then the whole audience is just like, that's how Mercedes is. Like, she doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Right now. She just shows up like, hey, here's my catchphase. And then everybody's like,
yes.
Yeah. It's like,
did I do that?
CEO, and then making it rain and pouring, making it rain. And then...
going to be a long couple weeks for a Double or Nothing. Is all I can say about that. I think that I would have liked a surprise return from Kenny more than if they just announce it. It's plain someone needs to back up Tony because he, elite heels need a foil, sort of like an elite Civil War. Tony needs someone to protect him. He's fearing for his life.
Until last Sunday, that my security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
But in what capacity will he come back? Like,
well,
he can't wrestle.
He hasn't had the surgery yet. So
yeah. Does that mean you see him on TV?
You're gonna see him on TV, and he won't take a bump. Like something will happen to him.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
But like he just got to get the surgery, and then maybe he could turn it around. But yeah, no, there's.
Why? I mean, I guess what the point of him coming back would be to, kind of set up the foils to the, the Battle League guys. But I don't know who you get, because maybe you bring Hangman back after his suspension. But it would be weird to bring him back abruptly as a face after the last time we saw him.
Yeah, there's so much money as Hangman as a heel.
Yeah, he's doing good work as a heel. I think it's way too soon to make him a face. And the only one who has been a member of the Elite Heels around is Kyle. And it would be a little weird to lift him out of that story with the Undisputed Kingdom. I'm annoyed at keeping up with stable names. I guess you bring in FTR? Like, what is the point of Kenny right now? What is the point of doing that?
Well, I mean, they're top guys, so they'll be all right.
7-star.
Top guys out.
Top guys. Who do they get to face the Elite as they are right now?
You don't know. Like,
exactly. And for that matter, they're also going to announce who will face Swerve. Why do you have to announce it? Because I thought you were doing rankings now. So it should be apparent to us who's up next. And I don't think it is. Like, I was looking at the roster and I was like, I don't know who they could put in front of him. Hook, maybe?
He had a fucking amazing match with Claudio last night.
He did. And did. Like, if they hadn't done that, I would guess that it would be him, next up. But it's not going to be, because they're not going to do that.
No, they don't really have any options. Everything else is interesting as undercard. The main card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
See, it would be, that's the interesting thing. It definitely would be Will, but they're putting the other title on him. So I guess Danielson?
Yeah, Bryan Danielson loses way too much at this point. Where
he does, and yet I understand exactly why. They're putting him in front of the new kids. He has to put over the new kids there. No question about that.
He's the opposite of Jericho. Like, he's actually living the gimmick in CM Punk, where it's just like, I lose to people who are younger than me to put them over.
Dumb. Weird times. It's a weird week, with a draft and a bunch of things I have lined up for Wednesday that confuse me from every perspective. But anyway, that's what we're here for. To be confused and entertained, back and forth. Our socials. On Twitter, we are at @the_HWL. And on Instagram, we are at @home_wrestling_league. And on TikTok, we are at Home Wrestling League. We have a lot of fun stuff coming up. We have things cooking that I think you guys would be interested in.
They're going to be on YouTube, which is, our YouTube is at Home Wrestling League.
Yeah.
So you guys can catch it there.
Yeah.
And
I'm looking forward to it. Also, if you're listening on Spotify, check out the poll in the Q&A. I did see someone respond to something there, and it was the highlight of my week. That was fun.
Yes. Tell us what you want.
Yes.
Tell us things.
Yes, I want to hear from you guys. And that's kind of it. Things just kind of end here. Like they do on some other shows.